Yo, what's going on, everybody? Swagkage here, and welcome to today's video where, once again, I have the best sidekick on the platform, Clyde the Weeaboo, here with me. And so today you can see the title for yourselves. I am talking about Killer Bee versus Itachi, because what kickstarted this whole thing is, so I was browsing Reddit after talking to Seth one day, just out of curiosity, because, he and I got on the conversation about the Naruto subreddit's opinions about us, just because I've seen a couple posts here and there talking about me, and I wondered what people thought about him. So I looked up Seth the Programmer, and there was this one post that I don't remember how many upvotes it had, but I know it was like calling Seth a fucking idiot. And then there was another post on that post saying like, oh yeah, Seth, he doesn't know what he's fucking it might not have been a post calling Seth an idiot, actually. The OP might have just been asking people what their opinions were. But you know, a person answered the OP by saying that yeah, Seth's an idiot because blah 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 blah, you know, B was the strongest person the series had ever seen after Pain died. He would definitely like crush Itachi. And I'm like, all right, so this person seems to dislike Seth because Seth thinks that Itachi would beat Killer Bee. And I was just like, huh. So like I'm scratching my head and I tweet out like, so people really think that B could beat Itachi? And a whole bunch of people replied with like, well, yeah, B would crush Itachi. Now, plenty of people, thankfully, were, you know, level-headed. They know their shit, and they actually said, no, Itachi would tear B in half. And, you know, that I was thankful for that, but there were so many people who thought that B would win, and I was just like, all right, I guess it's time for me to make a video about this, because, yeah. But before I get into the video, just gonna give a quick shout-out to Clyde and I's friend, Fanimos.com. That's the website that he runs. I've promoted it a whole bunch in the past. If you guys are regular viewers of my channel, you know what it is. It's this really cool anime merch store where you can just buy, I mean, like, the stuff there is predominantly Naruto, and this is a predominantly Naruto channel, so I'm pretty sure that if you go check out the store, you'll find something you like. He's got like Sharingan fidget spinners, Gamachan wallets, stuff like that. If you spend $99 or more, you can get a free jacket or a hoodie. So that's going on right now. Obviously, you don't have to spend $100. You can just buy something cheap, but at least do me a favor. Go check out the site. See if you find anything you like. If not, whatever. You don't have to buy anything, but it'd help me out. And Clyde and I are really good friends with this guy. He's super nice, and he's helped both of our channels out quite a bit. So, you know. Anyway, moving on to the actual discussion, I'll go ahead and let you start out with it because I've been talking for a very long time. And yeah, so what are your thoughts about B versus Itachi?
So I'm surprised at how many people think that you know, B's just going to casually slap Itachi when they're basing it off of the Sasuke fight a lot. This is obviously where it's coming from, and we need to factor in that Sasuke didn't have a Susanos. He was spamming the fucking Amaterasu like a maniac and using the lightning style against a lightning member. Let me
cut you off at the Amaterasu thing. He only used it like once or twice maximum. So
well, no, because what I was implying was since getting the ability after that, he was very gun-ho.
Oh, yeah, of course, but he wasn't spamming it like a maniac in that fight. If he was, it probably would have gone much differently, and B actually might have gone down a little quickly.
I only say that because it almost got cut in with it. So
yeah, of course, like he was being reckless with it. That's the point. Sasuke just I think what you're trying to get at is Sasuke wasn't being very smart going into that fight like he normally is. And I agree with you.
Yeah, alright, so and if we're matching up Itachi, who obviously stamina issues, he's not sick, he's fighting Killer Bee, you know, going against him. He has Susanos, which it isn't your casual Susanos. It's got a mirror that can block any fucking attack, seal anything it touches. So and to be honest, in terms of general combat strategy and like just intelligence, he seems like he's a lot better of a fighter than Sasuke at that stage.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, so Itachi's always been a better strategist than Sasuke. I would argue that, I mean, like, even adult Sasuke doesn't even compare to Itachi intelligence-wise. And I'm a sauce-tard. Like, Sasuke's one of, if not my favorite character, but Itachi's shitting on him in terms of intelligence. Itachi's like the smartest character in the whole series. You can argue he's even smarter than Shikamaru, so yeah.
Yeah, like, of all the characters in the series, I've never really liked Itachi that much. Not because there's anything wrong with him, but I'm not sucking his dick. I don't actually like him that much.
I like Itachi a lot, but I don't rep him in versus battles that often, so I'm not being an Uchiha.
This one's blatant because there's so many ways it could end very quickly. It's like, exactly. Alright, he whips out the Susanos with the sword that Killer Bee has no fucking idea about because, and we can back this up, he actually got information from Naruto next to him. He's like, yo, we don't want to mess with this dude because he has a genjutsu, so how's he gonna know
well, here, let's back it up too. Like, let's not even go into the Susanoo yet. Yeah, so the thing that many people seem to forget is that B and Naruto have actually fought Itachi, and Itachi Itachi was doing just fine. As a matter of fact, so first of all, let's go ahead and establish that Itachi, while weakened by Edo Tensei, was fast enough to keep up with KCM Naruto in hand-to-hand combat. The same KCM Naruto that dodged an attack from the Raikage. Seth and I always bring this up, you know, it's just really easy to use this to scale Itachi to make him relative in speed to somebody like KCM or the Raikage. He's like really fucking fast. And B is not that fast. He's never shown anything that implies that he's that fast. You know, he's definitely stronger than his brother A, the Raikage, but he's not faster than him. I mean, again, there's no evidence to support that, and I mean, like, if he was faster, you'd think it would have been established, but, you know, anyway, I'm going off on a tangent about speed. That's not the most important thing here. Clyde was mentioning just a few minutes ago that Naruto says to B in the fight against Itachi, listen, if Itachi hits you with either Tsukuyomi or Amaterasu, you're done for. And okay, so like a lot of people argue that B can break out of Tsukuyomi, and I'll get more into detail about that later, but like this seems to completely dismiss the idea that that's possible. Granted, here's the thing, you can take Naruto's statement with a grain of salt because one, he's not as good at breaking out of genjutsu as B is. Itachi trapped him in a basic genjutsu and Kurama did nothing to help him get out of it, whereas Gyuki, as soon as Sasuke used a genjutsu on him, Gyuki was just like, yeah, let me snap you the fuck out of that. But Naruto doesn't have that, so he might not know how easy it is for B to break out again jutsu as opposed to him. Kurama also wasn't helping him out by this point in the game, so, you know, it is a bit different. And on top of that, it's even easier to take this statement with a grain of salt because of the fact that B did get hit by Amaterasu and survive because he used a substitution jutsu, but, like, it nearly killed him. I mean, it shut him down in the... Well, granted, you could actually make an argument that he let himself be put in that state. That way he could escape from the Cloud Village. But still, Amaterasu was fucking him up, and there really wasn't anything that he could do about it.
And there's also the conversation, like, what sort of genjutsu did Sasuke use against Killer B anyway?
It was just basic one, or? Yeah, it was just basic genjutsu. It might have been Mangekyo genjutsu, but it wasn't Tsukuyomi because Sasuke doesn't have Tsukuyomi.
Yeah, that's the thing, because I've heard more than once that Tsukuyomi works a lot different. Like, regardless, it'll still affect you even with the tail beast in you, so...
It's supposedly impossible to break out of for anybody that isn't a relative anyway, and there's been nothing shown in the series to contradict this yet. Obviously, you don't want to take statements as fact, as made evident by this video Seth and I made. It's probably going up after this one. There's a video Seth and I made where we talk about the statement Itachi made about Jiraiya being allegedly stronger than him, which is, like, ridiculous. He was there with Kisame, and they both ran away. Jiraiya in base is not soloing both Itachi and Kisame. You know, that's an example of a statement that's not entirely accurate, but again, nothing's been shown to contradict the idea that nobody but a relative can break out of Tsukuyomi. And even if you don't want to use, like, that statement as fact, Tsukuyomi works a lot differently than most genjutsu do. Like, it lasts for like 0.01 seconds. As a matter of fact, it was supposed to be, according to the light novels, 1/100th of 1/1000th of 1/1,000,000th of a second, if I remember correctly. It could be a little bit different, but regardless, it's this really tiny fraction of a second. I'm pretty sure actually it's exactly a picosecond, like something that's like ludicrously quick. And like there's nothing that Gyuki would be able to do in that amount of time. By the time he realized B was being affected by a genjutsu, B would already be fucked. He'd just be mentally broken the same way Kakashi was after he got hit by it. And now you can make the argument that because a Jinchuriki and its tailed beast share the same mind, they would be observing time at the same speed. So, you know, Gyuki would be observing the effects of Tsukuyomi at the same rate of time that B is. But, I mean, I guess that is the only way you can make a case that B could break out of Tsukuyomi with Gyuki. But, you know, there's a whole lot of assumption that you have to do to reach that conclusion. And on top of that, even if that's the case, it still might not be possible considering the statement that Itachi made about it being impossible for anybody that isn't a relative to break out of Tsukuyomi. And not to mention the fact that it's a really, really, really strong genjutsu. It might even start fucking up Gyuki's mind. I don't know. But again, there's a little bit of assumption and uncertainty surrounding that point. Whatever. Amaterasu B has been shown to survive as well. Sure, fine. But then you come to the Susanoo, which Clyde was talking about. I'll give the mic over to you in a second when we start talking about the Susanoo. But what can B do against that at that point? Really nothing.
Yeah, literally nothing. I mean, like, he could stand from air distance away and shoot, like, tail beast bombs, maybe, but, like, that's... If it's point-blank range, then surely he can deflect them. On top of the fact that if he whips it out at close range, post-genjutsu, it's done. It's just, like, sealed. That's it.
Well, yeah, if he whips it out at close range, B is getting sealed by the Totsuka blade. And the Totsuka blade isn't small. It's huge, right? And... Now, like, I don't know about you, but to me, if Itachi can seal Nagato with the Totsuka blade with, like, no effort at all, you know, it took him a grand total of, like, 30 seconds. I don't see why he wouldn't be able to seal B, especially if B enters his big-ass 8 tails, like, tailed beast mode. He's a huge target.
That's how I imagine it happening, too. Yeah. It is. He's just making himself a target. It's like, he has firepower, but Itachi has a shield to block it, and then he can seal him straight away.
Yeah, Itachi's Yatamira can block all jutsu. It's stated.
And he's also going to be mentally ruined post Tsukuyomi if it hits. So it's like, is he really going to be thinking straight? He would get sealed really fast. Like, this is really one-sided if we look at it like that.
It depends on whether or not you want to assume that Tsukuyomi works on him. Like, if it doesn't work, fine. Even if you do, Itachi also has a Amaterasu, and if you want to write that off as well, B survived it before, so you, like, fine, whatever, but you can't deny that the Totsuka blade is an insta-kill. B is not, like, somehow magically resistant to it. Like, if it affected fucking Nagato, it will affect B. It's just that simple.
Yeah, and it also sealed the Richimaru's, like, huge-ass, like, snake thing, too, instantly. Like, as soon as it touched him, it was, like, locked in, that's it.
Exactly. Not to mention, Nagato tore B and Naruto to pieces. Give him like 30 seconds and both of them are dead. If not for Itachi being placed under the influence of Koto Amatsukami, they would have been fucked, especially if Nagato had Itachi on his side. It took Itachi saving both of them for Nagato to go down, and they barely did anything in that fight anyway. That was essentially Itachi versus Nagato with a little bit of Naruto and B thrown in the background. The only thing Naruto and B did throughout that entire fight was help disrupt the Chibaku Tensei. And I know B does not have anything on the scale of Chibaku Tensei. Otherwise, he would have been able to deal with it on his own. I really don't know what sort of fucking argument you can possibly make in B's favor here.
Well, how do you picture the fight going? Like, let's say, you know, Itachi was going to go get Killer B like what Sasuke was. How would you see it going?
Well, he probably knows about Jinchuriki's resistance to, like, basic genjutsu. So what he would likely do is, in order to figure out how fast B is, he would send a shadow clone to fight B up close, and you know, they would exchange in hand-to-hand combat. B might be able to hit it with a couple sword swings, but Itachi is, I believe he's faster. I'm not going to say that like that's a statement of fact, but like everything in the series lends credence to the idea that Itachi is a much faster fighter than B, and there isn't a whole lot of evidence to support otherwise. So Itachi's clone, it would be a little bit weaker than him, so maybe B would be able to outspeed it, but Itachi would still get a decent idea of how fast B is. And he also has the Sharingan plus the Mangekyo Sharingan to help him read B's movements, and Sasuke was able to react to the Raikage at point fucking blank range and like dodge his elbow bolt and land a Chidori on him with his Sharingan. So, you know, Itachi, a much more seasoned user of the Sharingan, would have no problem reacting to B's movements. And so, again, you know, he would send in the Shadow Clone, figure out how fast B is. He'd be like, okay, fine, whatever, I'll be able to deal with this guy. If the Shadow Clone ends up taking any fatal damage, Itachi will probably detonate it the same way he detonated the Shadow Clone that was fighting against Kurenai Asuma. I can't really tell you what had happened after that. All I know is Itachi would probably try Tsukuyomi, and if Tsukuyomi doesn't work on Jinchuriki, then Itachi would know better than to use it. He would conserve the chakra. He probably wouldn't go for a Materasu unless B powered up into his Gyuki state, and even if B did transform into the Eight Tails, then Itachi would probably just bust out the Susanoo and seal him with the Totsuka blade.
Yeah, that's how I see it going too, because if the Genjutsu works or it doesn't, like, he's going to transform straight away, and then that's when the Susanos would come out, like you said, yeah.
It's that simple. There's really no way B can do anything. Like, I'd love to be like, well, maybe B would be able to do it. Like, I keep giving him the benefit of the doubt in resisting a lot of Itachi's jutsu, but there is no resisting the Totsuka blade, and there's no bypassing the Yatamira. Like, the only person capable of doing something like that would be, like, fucking Madara, who can create an AoE attack that would, like, damage Itachi from behind or something. But a tailed beast ball, it's not gonna penetrate the Yatamira. Not happening.
It won't, because it's literally like just deflecting a large-sized tennis ball that's going to explode in the opposite direction.
Exactly.
And then like, can't B do that like beam attack thing with the tail beast, like that yellow one? So it's like that. That's even better. Like that's going to be deflected right back, or it's just going to just vanish when it hits the mirror. So it will.
It might
that's how it's gonna
knock
happen.
Itachi on his ass or something. Like the explosion might cause his Susanoo to shake, and it might injure him a little bit because of the physical trauma created by such a powerful shockwave. But it's not going to fucking kill him.
No, that's just honestly that's how it goes. I like the idea that you said clone working to see how fast he is, because obviously he's going to be by himself too, so he doesn't have the backup like what Sasuke did. Sasuke had a lot of reliance on the others he was with, but the way you said is pretty much exactly how it's going to go, and then that's it. Game, set, match. Like Itachi wins.
There's so many statements that like make this, like it paints this battle as one that's in Itachi's favor, and you have to ignore a whole lot if you want to say B comes out on top. That's the problem here. Like you can make an argument like that maybe B could win, but like you have to dismiss all of the stuff that we talked about with Tsukuyomi, Amaterasu, and all of that other shit. You have to ignore the idea that the Totsuka blade one-shots anything it touches, and you also have to ignore the Yada mirror being like. And here's the thing, right? When I say, like, I'm not saying that the Totsuka blade allows Itachi to beat anybody, but B has no clue what it fucking does, and he's a big ass fucking Jinchuriki target. Of course he's gonna get hit by that shit, and it's that simple. But anyway, I've kind of carried this outro on for long enough, so that'll be all from me. Subscribe to Clyde. Till my next video. Talk to you later. Swagkage out. Bye.